I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and big display, check. Windows Phone, check. New processor, check. In time for the holiday season, check as well. Here's the HTC Titan. We're going to take a look at this in the unboxing and see if this is the best Windows Phone to hit US shores. It's got a massive 4.7-inch display. It's got an 8-megapixel camera, and it's running Windows Phone 7.5 or Mango. It's available now at AT&T, so we're going to see if this is the one you should get. But first, some love to Best Buy. When you walk into Best Buy Mobile, when you get this device, you'll walk out working. They'll help you set up your email, your tiles, Windows Marketplace, and more. So when you walk out the door, you're good to go at Best Buy Mobile. HTC Titan, is this the phone to get, or should you go with the HTC Vivid or the Samsung Galaxy S2 Skyrocket? We'll find out starting right now. Some people may think 4.3 inches is too big. Some people may think 4.7 inches is gigantic. But one thing's for sure, Windows Phone is joining Android and getting quite a few different form factors and quite a few different options available for the consumer. One of those is the HTC Titan. It's available now at AT&T, and it's packing a whopping 4.7-inch display. Now, it's a nice Super LCD, and to give you some more info on the specs, it's also packing a 1.5 gigahertz Snapdragon processor, the single core, a 1,600 milliamp hour battery, an 8-megapixel camera, and a 1.3 megapixel front-facing camera. So you do get 4G on this device, but it's 4G HSPA plus, not LTE. But 4.7-inch display, Windows Phone, dual cameras, and Wi-Fi. Let's take a look at this. And special thanks to AT&T for hooking us up with a review unit and a SIM card so we can put this sucker to the test. Quick start guide. Texting and driving, it can wait. It sure can. Very, very bad habit. I had a friend that, a close friend of a friend that hit somebody while texting and unfortunately killed them. So it's an unfortunate thing. But here's the Titan. You can see big phone. 3 Windows buttons down here. You got your back button, your home button, your search button, and then over here some more specs about the phone that you saw on the back of the box. So we can pull out here and see cornstarch bags in typical HTC style. You got your USB cable, you got your AC adapter module, typical HTC look there, and then you've got a 1,600 milliamp hour battery here. Now, for whatever reason, for the life of me, I can't figure out why HTC doesn't put larger batteries. I mean, you see a device with a 4.7-inch display, you're thinking this thing needs like an 1,800 milliamp hour battery. HTC, whenever I ask them about that, it seems like they kind of aren't sure. They kind of skirt the issue. So it'll be interesting one day. I hope we can find out why they do smaller batteries. Because 1,600, it's going to be tough to make it through the day with that small of a battery. So you see safety and regulatory guide here. Windows Phone 7 software license terms. You get something that says, please refer to Windows Phone 7 software license terms. So it's like you get a brochure for the brochure, and then you get limited warranty on HTC products. Then you get a nice little note from AT&T up here that says, thank you for purchasing an HTC Titan. So if you did buy it, you're going to get some love from AT&T in the form of a little sticky note that they put on every single one of their boxes that they ship out. So let's take a look at it here. You can see here's the device again. You know, big 4.7-inch display makes it a big phone in the hand, but still very thin, has a nice metal accent to it. A little plastic cover down here for the battery, it looks like. Or no, this whole thing comes off. I stand corrected. And you can see metal on the back, as you can hear it when I drop it. 8-megapixel camera with dual LED flash, battery compartment, SIM card slot, which we'll go ahead and get all this stuff down in here so we can power it on and take a first look at it. So there's our battery. And then just to give you an idea, okay, so much like the Sensation 4G you can see, and like the Sensation XE, you can see it kind of pops down there on the top and then just slides right into place on the Titan. So you got your micro USB charging port over here on the left side. You got your volume rocker on the right side. It looks like a camera shortcut button as well. 3.5mm headphone jack and a power button, and it's kind of back and forth between metal and plastic, which I'm assuming the plastic at the top and the bottom gives the wireless radios a chance to shine, because wireless radios and metal don't really play nice. So it's a nice looking device, though. You know, compare it to something in terms of size, like, and I have a case on this right now, but the iPhone 4S. Compare it in terms of size to the Droid Bionic and just whatever other random phones I happen to have on the desk at the moment. Droid Bionic and Droid Razr in terms of size. So you can see they're, you know, kind of similar in terms of look and feel on the outside at least, and you get a nice rounded edge here. So welcome to HTC. Get started. We're going to run through this pretty quickly here, except we're going to do recommended in Eastern time. So let's pull it out here and say -5. There we are, Eastern time. Next. And we'll go ahead and do the date. Actually, we'll let the network configure that, so we'll cancel out of that, and hopefully it'll auto adjust. So not now, And let's wait for these apps to install. So it's a good looking device. It feels good in the hand, and it's surprisingly thin. And even though it does have a 4.7-inch display, it doesn't really feel that much larger. Now, I think this is coming from the fact that, you know, they've kind of incrementally adjusted us to these larger displays, if you think about it. You know, we kind of went from like 3.7 being the norm, slowly to 4 being the norm, then slowly to 4.3 being the norm, then 4.5, and now we're kind of seeing a few 4.7-inch handsets like the Titan. So I think because we've done this gradual thing as opposed to going from like 3.5 in the iPhone to 4.7, I think we've adjusted a little bit better to these larger displays. But it feels good. The display isn't as large as I thought it was going to be, and it's still relatively easy to hold in one hand. Now that said, take a look at my thumb, and I have pretty long fingers, and even while holding it down here in the bottom of my hand and cupping it, I can't, or I have a very hard time reaching up there to the top. So it's going to work fine when you're typing, but if you're holding it with one hand, you're walking, and you're quickly trying to do something on one side of the device, you may have some problems, especially if you're somebody that has smaller hands. So keep that in mind when you take a look at this device at the AT&T store. But it's installing. Come on now, let's get this going. So bam, started up and ready to go, and you can see the typical Windows Phone look and feel here with the typical AT&T applications pre-installed. You've got Code Scanner, Family Map, My Wireless, Navigator, UVerse Mobile, HTC Hub, Xbox Live Games, Microsoft Office, Photo Enhancer, which is HTC, and then YP Mobile. Now most of the AT&T stuff can be uninstalled directly from the menu here by going to pressing it and then hitting uninstall. And then like any other Windows device, if I want a calculator to be on the main screen, for example, I can hit pin to start, and it takes a tile right down there to the home screen. Out of the box, this is what it looks like. And so we'll take a look at messaging. Now I'm interested to see, with a giant display like this, curious to see how well the typing is, and it should be pretty decent. So the Rumor Dog went to the park to fetch a pail. Let's say pail. Let's go back and do that. Pail of water. So it's almost, you know, for me it's almost too big. I'm finding that I'm making some mistakes because the display, it's a little bit harder to kind of travel across the keyboard because the display is pretty huge. That said, if you have just giant hands and you're not used to having anything other than a physical QWERTY keyboard, this may be the device for you, because with 4.7 inches you got a lot of real estate to use it in landscape mode, and heck, even in portrait mode as well. So something to keep in mind. So let's try this. Let's just do some random typing here. Let's go back and do Aaron Baker is the man. And then you can go back and highlight the words and change those as you see fit. So we can change that to Baker, for example. Change that. And so you can easily go back and auto-correct words, which is a feature I like in Windows Phone 7. Just very easy to go back and auto-change words. And when you click on it, it highlights it and brings it up some suggested words. So that's a really nice touch there. So let's take a look at browsing as well. And yeah, we'll send that browsing history to Microsoft just because we're that nice. So PhoneDog.com. Also wanted to see, you know, one of these benefits of these larger displays, be it the 4.5 inch on the Epic 4G Touch, or the 4.7 inch on the Titan, or the 4.5 inch display on the Skyrocket, whatever it is, it makes for a great media experience. So when you're browsing the web, you're checking out videos, it's really useful. So you can see here, there's PhoneDog.com, and it's still loading up right now, but you can just see how much screen real estate you get on this device. And again, with that 1.5 gigahertz processor, take a look at how fast those transitions are. This is pretty impressive coming from Windows Phone device, and you know, even with a single core processor, it runs like clockwork. So it's really nice. Runs like a Titan, let's just say like that. Runs like a Titan. That was my corny joke of the day. You're welcome. You're welcome. So you can see the double time unboxing I just did. Easy pinch to zoom. Very, very easy rotation. So it's a good looking device. The question's going to be, you know, around $200 for this phone. Should you get this, or should you go with, you know, a device like the Vivid that's also $200, or the Skyrocket, which is a little bit more, but it's $250. You know, it's right up there in that $200 price point, and it's going to get some stiff competition from iOS and from Android, two contenders on the market that are already well established in their respective game. Will it do well? We'll find out. So much more coverage to come on PhoneDog.com with the HTC Titan. Be sure to keep it locked on the Facebook page at Facebook.com/PhoneDog. Like us. I'm on there saying hello sometimes. So stop on in, say hello, ask me some questions, and hit up our page at Facebook.com/PhoneDog. Let me know what you think of this phone, whether you bought it, you're interested in it, you know, you think it's a terrible phone, you think Android forever, you think iOS is awesome, you think Windows Phone rules. Let me know. PhoneDog_Aaron on Twitter and on Facebook at Facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. Thanks so much for watching. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com for more coverage on the HTC Titan. Big old phone on PhoneDog.com. We'll see you next time.